Mookie Betts is 5'9", 189 pounds, and smaller than every player on his team. Yet, somehow, Mookie still manages to be one of the league's best.
Mookie Betts drives the ball, left field, debut! Mookie Betts!
He's won an MVP, 6 Gold Gloves, and won more World Series championships than any current player. But nobody noticed Mookie prior to Major League Baseball due to him being rated as an undersized, poor defender by almost every single scout. However, there was one scout who was willing to go as far to sacrifice his job in order to make sure his team drafted Mookie Betts. So, to understand how someone the same height as the average man took over professional baseball, we need to go back to when Mookie's baseball journey began.
Betts hits a fly ball the other way that sends Acuna back. He's gone!
Mookie grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, raised by both of his parents. His mom specifically wanted Mookie to play baseball from the time he turned 5 years old. She tried to enroll him into every Little League team in their area, but they all declined him and told her it was because of his small size. So she took things into her own hands and formed her own Little League team for her son to play on. And just like every stereotypical parent who's the head coach, she made her son the shortstop of the team. Mookie's days as an infielder even carried over into when he was in high school. Playing as a 3-sport athlete in baseball, basketball, and bowling, he was absolutely dominating the competition. In his junior year alone, he had a .548 batting average and stole 24 bases, while also being the MVP in his basketball league. When it was time to commit to a college, he had no problem getting a full scholarship to the University of Tennessee, where he planned on developing his baseball skills. But the most important day for Mookie's entire professional career came at the East Coast Professional Showcase, where he was one of 130 players that scouts would be watching. With the opportunity of impressing each of the 30 MLB teams, he somehow only impressed one. And it was a singular scout who only noticed him due to his extreme comfortability on the field. It happened to be Danny Watkins, an area scout for the Boston Red Sox, who saw with his own eyes how effortless Mookie played. But there was a problem. Due to his size and lack of physicality, Watkins knew in the back of his mind that Mookie was going to be a better second baseman than he would be shortstop. However, Watkins also knew that his opinion would be much bigger if he told the Red Sox that Mookie would be a shortstop instead of a second baseman. So, Watkins put together a compelling presentation to show them about why Mookie projects very well at shortstop over second. Fast forward a few months, and Mookie was officially in the Red Sox organization. But if Mookie wanted to be an MLB superstar, he had a lot to work on. In Mookie's first full year as a professional, he struggled hitting the ball far, recording 0 homers. The lack of power ultimately outweighed his .267 batting average, and he clearly needed to make changes. A year later, Mookie was finally able to turn things around, all thanks to a coach he had worked with in High A who recommended him to get rid of a big leg kick that was throwing off his timing. It turned him into a brand new hitter, one who was destroying baseball after baseball. And by 2014, he was arguably the best player in the minor leagues, progressing from AA to AAA to his final stop in MLB. But little did Mookie know, his story was just beginning to unfold. He had expectations from the get-go, having to play as the Red Sox starting center fielder due to the struggles that the Red Sox were having at the position. While the majority of fans agreed with the call-up, one sports writer believed that it was the wrong time to call him up, saying if Betts fails, it's just another player that failed to fill the offensive need for the Red Sox.
And oh, by the way,
and there's his first big league base hit.
In his first 10 games, Betts struggled, and not long after was optioned back to AAA. He went through 2 more recalls before officially claiming a role at the Red Sox. So not only was he going to be a star outfielder, but Betts proved to be a star with his bat, recording a .291 batting average, and baseball fans knew that Mookie Betts was on his way to becoming a breakout star. Heading into 2015, Boston revamped their core and they were ready to win. And Mookie Betts was on fire to start the season, hitting a home run in his second at-bat on opening day. However, by June, the Red Sox had a negative record at 22-39, yet Mookie was still doing amazing, winning AL Player of the Week on June 21st. He led all of MLB in batting average, hits, and total bases that week. While he couldn't lead his team into the postseason yet, as the second youngest player in the starting lineup at 22 years old, he did rank second in nearly every offensive statistic, and it resulted in Mookie seeing media attraction, being called their player of the year, and everybody was waiting for 2016 to be the season of his career. Mookie didn't just have one of the highest batting averages in baseball, but he introduced something new into his game, becoming a power hitter and slashing 31 bombs, and was also one of the fastest players, stealing 26 bases, being voted into his first All-Star game. But his best accomplishment was by far being labeled as an MVP finalist. It was because of this that the Red Sox won the division as a 93-win team. However, their playoff journey only lasted 3 games before being sent home. 1 year later, in 2017, it was much of the same, with the exact record they had a year prior, and Mookie once again being their #1 player. Though despite his accomplishments, the Red Sox went nowhere in the postseason yet again. That is until 2018.
The offense has been monstrous. I'm telling you, it's time to party!
The Red Sox opened their offseason by hiring manager Alex Cora, who had been a part of the 2017 champions. And with the help of signee JD Martinez, the Red Sox quite literally took over baseball. Mookie won an MVP, led the league in several different statistics, and had the highest batting average of his career. Defensively, he won his 3rd consecutive Gold Glove award, crowning him as one of MLB's best outfielders. As for his team, they won a league-leading 108 games. Come playoff time, they rolled past the Yankees, Astros, and had one last stop in the World Series.
The Red Sox have won the World Championship.
All year long, from start to finish. They dominate. I mean, that is very impressive.
Where Mookie Betts officially became a world champion for the first time in his career. So it ultimately took him 5 years to win it all, become an MVP, multi-time Gold Glove winner, and an overall superstar. And it seemed he was on a path to becoming a Red Sox legend, or at least that's what everyone thought.
The Red Sox are cheating.
Using video replay to steal signs.
Boston cheated.
The Red Sox were stealing signs, and just 1 month after that report came out,
Mookie Betts, the 27-year-old star outfielder, again agreeing to a 12-year extension with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
In 2020, Mookie was headed to Southern California after contract negotiations stalled in Boston. Not long after, he signed a 12-year, $365 million extension. While he was excited to be in LA with the Dodgers, Mookie was still bummed that it didn't work out with the Red Sox. He said, "I know people don't believe it, but I wanted to be in Boston my whole career. That was my life. I knew everybody there."
Do you ever thought that you were going to spend the next 12 years wearing the Dodgers uniform?
No, I had initially thought that I was going to be a Red Sox for life.
But life had a different plan for Betts. The Dodgers needed him to be the superstar that got them over their playoff hump and established them as World Series champions. His first year in LA went very well, leading his team to a division win as one of their best hitters and defenders, winning a Gold Glove in the regular season and even getting 20 hits in the playoffs. In the first and second series, the Dodgers went undefeated and were now only a few games away from the World Series. All they had to do was beat the Braves in the NLCS to make it in, and thanks to Mookie, that happened.
The Dodgers come from behind in the series. They come from behind in Game 7, and they win the National League pennant.
In the World Series, the Dodgers had to face one of the best teams in baseball, Tampa Bay, where the Dodgers offense destroyed all series long, leading to Mookie becoming a 2-time World Series champion, while also being labeled the Sports Illustrated Player of the Year and labeled by MLB as their #1 right fielder. Still, even with a .292 batting average, Mookie wasn't satisfied and wanted much more in 2021. But unfortunately, he was about to go through the first major struggle in his professional career. In the first half of 2021, Mookie was plagued with injury after injury. And when it came time for All-Star voting in July, nobody expected him to be voted in, not even him. But he ended up being voted into the All-Star game, surprising everyone. When he heard the news, he said, "Obviously, I haven't played that great, so I was definitely surprised, but also very thankful for making the team." He decided to opt out of the All-Star game as a measure to keep himself healthy, and the rest of the season proved he was able to stay healthy and helped the Dodgers win over 100 games. But when it came time for the playoffs, he dominated. In the wildcard game, he had 3 hits, leading his team to the next round, where they found themselves in the NLDS, their hardest challenge yet. facing the San Francisco Giants, who had 107 wins, won their division, and also led MLB in total wins. The best-of-5 series went back and forth. However, at one point, the Dodgers were down and needed a spark. So Mookie hit a home run in Game 4, tying the series, allowing for LA to officially be crowned the winner after Game 5. Though the NLCS against the Atlanta Braves proved to be a challenging task that the Dodgers couldn't handle, sending them home and officially ending their year. But the Dodgers were awaiting a busy offseason and needed to build around Mookie Betts. So by the time opening day rolled around in 2022, the Dodgers had become one of the best teams in baseball. So all they did was winning 111 games in 2022, the most in their franchise's history. And once again, Mookie had a career year, this time in homers with 35 of them. Still, their record-winning season came to an end in the NLDS against their division rival, the San Diego Padres. It seemed like every year, Mookie and the Dodgers just couldn't get past the playoff hump. And unfortunately, these next 2 years were going to be the most challenging of his entire career. In 2023, his performance wasn't the challenging part. Mookie was as close to an MVP as he'd ever been and hoped to be winning his second. He ended up falling short of those hopes, placing in second. But it was his team's performance that wasn't easy for him, as they did win 100 games, but went nowhere in the playoffs yet again, getting swept in the first round they played in. So going into 2024, the Dodgers needed to make changes, and they did, signing the best player in baseball, one of the best pitchers in baseball, while also trading for a superstar. The only problem is that Mookie had to be the team's starting shortstop, which he hadn't done consistently since high school. He called it the hardest thing that he had ever had to do. At 31 years old, the results showed to be complicated and ultimately tough, recording a team-leading 12 errors in 2024. As for his hitting ability, it hadn't changed at all. A matter of fact, he made it to his first career home run derby. By playoff time, the team seemed poised to finally get back into the World Series, and they took a commanding stand, winning in the NL Wildcard, Division, and Championship Series. The only thing left was to win it all against a tough Yankees team. So that's exactly what they did.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
But there was something different about this World Series win specifically.
I mean, what does this one mean to you compared to some of the others?
I mean, obviously, you know, all of them are special, but this one, the group of guys in here, each and every one of those guys in there, I just love being a Dodger, really.
He's been in the league 11 years, he's 32 years old, he's a 6-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champion, MVP, and on this path will someday be in the MLB Hall of Fame.